How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Twin Tuitions, episode 5. First of all, Happy New Year. Happy New Year from everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's.
Yep. So, we are actually recording this just slightly before the new year, but by the time it gets out, we think the year will have already shifted. So, we hope you guys had a good one, and we are very excited to celebrate it here as well. First thing we want to get to is we have a special guest, Zoey Maya, right? Pronounced that correctly. Who we are going to actually be, it seems like, working a lot with here in the near future. So would you be so kind as to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Yeah, I mean, kind of a little bit introduced me, but I'm Zoey. I'm the owner of That's Life Media. It's a photography company / media management. And I'm going to be working with Pale Twin and hopefully help get some content going for you guys. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Yep, we're looking forward to it. So first thing we're going to talk about today is New Year's resolutions. So Zoe, you want to go first?
Yeah, I think the best part about starting a new year is to make a promise to yourself, and the first thing is just, what am I going to do for me? And I'm going to include a lot of face masks, going to the chiropractor. I think so much self-care, and I'm going to make 2020 and 26 all about self-care and taking myself to the next level.
Awesome. I was trying to think of something specific, but I don't really have anything specific. But we were talking earlier, and I think one thing that I would like to have happen in 2026 is just for me and everybody in the band and everybody associated with Pale Twin to reach out to the local, regional, anybody who's into this type of music and this scene, and get to know people better, get to meet some new people and that are into what we're into, and I think that's a good one. So
just that connection to community and just finding people who are into music and just having that.
Exactly. Yeah. People that are into the music, people that do art for, the scene, or just interested in kind of the darker perspective on things, whatever that may be.
I think if there's any fans out there or anyone who's in the artist thing, I think Pale Twin is definitely looking to meet you and hear what kind of dark thoughts a little bit got going, and just kind of create a nice little artist scene, right?
That's it. Yeah. It doesn't have to. You can come up and show us your art if you just need to show somebody your art. If you just want to show somebody that too. I mean, I think we're pretty. We just want to see what you guys got and see what's out there. So, yeah. Chris?
For me, I think setting specific resolutions kind of sets me up for failure, so I'm going to go with a more generalized one of, I guess, both improving myself in my life and also discovering more about myself. I think if I have to set one thing that would be specific for kind of a general goal, it would be expanding my circle, whether that be, my personal circle of friends or just the people that I talk to on a regular basis. I think that's a pretty good place to, think that's a pretty good place to put my goal.
Yeah, pretty good place to leap off from. Can I get mine real quick?
Sure.
So mine's basically two things. One is I want to like show up for myself a little bit more on the physical health side. Not that this last year was horrible, but like having a daughter, having regular schedule with the music stuff, starting live shows, which are more demanding overall than the recording process and things like that. I just think it's going to be really important to make that extra effort to feel good going into an event as opposed to just pulling it out last minute. And I think doing myself that service will help me. It'll help the band. It'll make things safer here at home for my family. And in reference, like I talked about the epilepsy last time, so that's what I'm addressing with that. But the second thing that I think would be the biggest resolution would actually would be kind of a counterbalance to the first one is when we are in those events, whether it's something as simple as practicing or doing, or like all the way up to doing a live show, I want to be more there every time than I was last year. Less in the future, less planning. I want to be right there in that practice, giving it my all. And that goes for my personal stuff too, not just in the band. Just like day-to-day stuff. I want to be more present.
I like that. I like that as a goal. Knowing you as a friend, I like that as a goal for you. I think that's
So those would be my main ones.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to. Luke's got something here.
So one thing I always think about at the turn of the year is kind of, when like musicians will know this, when you use DistroKid, you get a yearly wrap up. And kind of shows you what your hours and views are. And it's not the Bible, you can't live by it, but it is like a helpful piece of information for sure. And I think, all musicians have some type of goal for what that is. But at the same time, even when you meet those goals, it's so hard to define what that actually means. And, until you really are doing live shows and getting connections and contracts and stuff like that, views are just views. So my question would be this. If what was your most listened to song or band from this last year?
Oh, good question. You got good questions. I'll go first. I think my number one was Bring Me the Horizon. And I thought it would be Gunship, but it was not. It was Bring Me the Horizon, and been kind of on a Bring Me the Horizon kick from Suicide Season all the way up to the new record. So, which are two very different bands. They've been like four different bands. They've had four different sounds, but they've executed each one of those so well. I'm just impressed like every time. Anyway,
I think I'm still reeling from what Spotify said my number one band was. According to Spotify, it was Blackbird Rom, which I don't think. I'm pretty sure I'm sure none of you guys know who they are, and
I have
also
not heard of them.
Pretty sure most people don't either. They're a really weird band, but apparently I listened to more than 2,000 minutes of them, which, considering that they have only a couple albums and I only listen to two of them regularly, I'm still shocked by that.
Do you guys have a guess who mine is?
I'll
say this. It's one that you could guess, but it's not Pink Floyd.
That was gonna be my first guess.
It's not Pink Floyd.
Okay. My second guess. There's a lot. There's a few.
I'll give you 3 guesses.
3 guesses.
Yeah, and the first one, the Pink Floyd thing doesn't count, so you get 3.
Juice World.
Nope. He's up there, but not number 1.
God, I don't want to burn this next one because I don't think it's it, but Lil Peep.
That's it.
Yeah.
You got it on the second one. Love it.
All right.
Witchblades, cocaine, goth boy click, make a hoe shake. Love Lil Peep. Absolutely one of my all-time goats. But that was my most listened to this year. I actually, for Christmas, my amazing girlfriend got me an amazing gift. It's the Come Over When You're Sober album by Lil Peep, pink vinyl. And we bought it from the family website, which contributes to like the cause of Lil Peep and stuff like that, as opposed to just like burnt shit offline, which I think is cool. I think is really cool. So awesome gift. But yes, that was my number 1.
I was gonna guess either Slipknot or Lil Peep. Those are my 2.
Yeah, I was definitely gonna guess Slipknot or like Metallica or something like that. But my number 1 was "Take Me to the Beach" by Imagine Dragons, because every time it's cold, I picture myself on a beach, and it's like 30-something degrees right now. When like Christmas, it was like 60-something in Ohio. I'm like, what is this weather? So every time it gets cold, I listen to songs about beaches, envious of the warm weather.
Yeah, fair enough. That, not to get too much on the weather here, but I'm sure you felt it on Sunday, right? That's like 70 degrees outside.
It was freaking beautiful.
It was amazing, right?
Yes, I absolutely loved it.
It made me realize like how much the cold affects my mood personally. Like having to feeling like I can't go outside and like walk around without having to bundle up.
Well, yeah, seasonal depression is very much real. I know every time it gets cold, I get really depressed. I just want to not go to work. I just want to just curl up with my cats and just not deal with it. But Christmas week, like, I was nice and warm. I could wear shorts. I was like, am I in Ohio right now?
Yeah. I guess Ohio, Michigan, Illinois type problems.
Yeah, you just wait a week and then you'll get like warm weather again.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be warm next week, or who knows? Tomorrow it might be like 60-something. I don't know. Just wait a couple minutes and it's warm.
AJ, I know you're not originally from Ohio.
Yeah, well, was born in the area, lived here for the first 6 years of my life, and then we moved to North Carolina. So, grew up in the South.
Zoey, were you born in Ohio?
I was born in Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky. Go UK. But I was raised in Cincinnati. I grew up here since I was like 3 years old, so I'm basically an Ohio native.
Yeah. I tend to think where you grew up is typically more important than, like, for where you're from.
Like where you grow up is more important than where you're born.
When I go back to North Carolina now, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is where I grew up.
So, last time on the podcast we talked about just like the last 12 to 14 months of recording and all that stuff, and now we get to go into the live shows, and we're talking about doing more online stuff. I was wondering, Zoe, if you could talk a little bit about what you do with your other company, That's Life Media, and what what you see, how you see that reflecting into what we do with Pale Twin. I mean, earlier we had talked about different ideas for rehearsals and shows and things like that. And I was just wondering for the listeners if you could maybe talk about some of the ideas we had, and if you guys have feedback in the comments, absolutely give it to us of what you would want to see.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think engagement is so important when it comes to fans and being and building a community, because without the listeners and the people being involved with Pale Twin, there's just people making music, I think, but it's still good. It's still artists, but I think what That's Life Media's goal is to do more like live streams, have some more engagement, potentially do a live show on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok, and really kind of give you guys an idea of like what Pale Twin is all about. And
Yeah, I think that's the goal moving forward, is to really show people what it is that Pale Twin is. More than just, Spotify songs and stuff like that.
yeah, and make it more engaging for everyone. I think that's important. I think it's about building that community, that builds other artists, I think, and builds Pale Twin and makes the fans and the listeners feel heard. Is, I think, overall what That's Life Media is trying to do for you guys, is just make sure that you guys are kind of entertained as well, because I think that's a big part of what this is about.
So I want to say this, and then I do have another topic I want to switch over to real quick, but I want to say this about, the skill set that goes into what you're talking about doing. A lot of it, even if you don't view it this way, even if it's not like the way you categorize it in your brain, is logistics and math. Because I've tried to do a lot of and I still do some, I do what I can do to help our band, but I've tried to totally manage projects and the logistics side and the algorithm and stuff like that, and I can't do it. So there has to be some kind of in the same way of playing an instrument or doing whatever, there has to be some type of, I think, I'm giving you just a compliment, a giftedness to it. Because I think you could show me everything you know how to do with this stuff, and I still don't think I would be able to replicate it, because it's just not how it works. At least I definitely wouldn't be able to replicate it and do the things that I'm doing for the band. I would have to put all my time into it at the very least.
I think you're the most naturally business-oriented member of the band. You've got that sense, that comes to you most naturally. And I think what you're doing and what you're kind of trying to set up is outsourcing our weak spots in a way that is beneficial for everybody involved. And I feel like that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, and I feel like the term outsourcing feels negative, because the term itself is not negative, but the way it feels implicatively negative. What I'm talking about is more of a restaffing, because we started this up on a very quick thing, and we've been forming around it ever since. And since we've started it, it's only grown time period by time period. And the last thing I wanted to say with this was that, I'm sorry, I apologize. We can
No, it's
cut.
fine. Well, let me jut in here. I think I'm going to kind of elaborate on what you're saying. I think one of the core values of like the punk rock alt scene is DIY. And when we say outsourcing, I think what we're talking about is bringing in, other people, other small businesses like Zoey's, to come in and be a part of this thing. And I think that's a really positive thing. Like we were talking about earlier, that's a community building type thing.
Yeah, and I think my role isn't just to be like an outsource or anything like that. It's to help like make like less pressure on you guys, so you guys can focus on what you guys enjoy is the music. It's to create like a content plan and being able to make things more engaging. Like you have that person that can look at what people are commenting, make sure the messages get to you guys, and make sure you guys are focusing on what you guys enjoy, and you guys can interact with the fans when you need to, and it just builds a lot less pressure on you guys.
100%, and that's what I was. Now that we come around full circle to it, like that is what I was trying to get at, is like the having someone to focus their time on that subject specifically, and then do what I've seen you do in the past, which is take that logistic knowledge and stuff like that and then use it in a way and show up every day to do it. It's such a huge difference maker, because it does. I mean, you guys can tell me if you feel differently on this, but like even with 5 members, like the way the music scene is today, without Zoey and Ian, I still feel spread thin when it's just on us. Even though, and you would think like, oh, it's 5 members, it's no problem. But I still feel like between making the music, practicing it to bring it to the quality that we all are accepting, like, okay, we all accept this quality of music. Like, and I'm saying this both as it's a compliment both ways. It's a compliment to how much it takes to make music, and it's a compliment to how much value true marketing has. Because if and this is the last thing I'm going to say, and I am curious if you guys agree with this. If we can't, to me, the best music we can make comes from putting the time in and focusing as much as we can without outsourcing that time from ourselves, whether that's practice or writing or whatever it is at home. I feel like the more, at least for me personally, the more I feel like I have to consistently schedule and go into the logistics like what we were talking about on the other pages, the harder it is to really bring that quality that we're talking about on the creative side musically.
Yeah, I mean, being a musician or being in a band or being a part of an artistic project in 2025 is difficult for all those, especially if you're independent, for all those reasons. I mean, not only are you worried about writing good songs, getting those recorded well, however you decide to go about doing that, but then you also are worried about the art surrounding the project, getting a social media presence going, merch, shows, practice. I mean, it's a lot. I think most people, anybody who's been in a band, trying to get to that next stage or level has felt that at some point. And I'm excited about where we're at. I think we definitely, I feel good about the music we have. And I mean, there's been times in other projects I've been in where I haven't, but this I feel very confident in. So I feel good about it. I think these are good songs. So, yeah.
I think, well, for me, I think that it's definitely nice to know that we'll have like it's nice knowing that we'll have the ability to have some of that weight lifted off our shoulders, because I know for me, the area I feel by a long shot most confident in is the actual composing of music and like playing said music. It is, yeah, it's just going to be a huge weight lifted off to have, you know, someone else helping out with things that we are not as suited to. And plus, I mean, going back to the point of like, you know, the challenges of 5 people trying to do a lot of stuff to keep a band going. It's also just a very competitive area to try and, you know, make a splash in, because, you know, especially in Cincinnati, I think there's quite a few bands out there, and it's kind of hard to make your band really, you know, stand out in a way that, you know, feels both authentic and also can capture, you know, a little bit of attention. And, you know, I want both of those things, really. Really want us to feel authentic, especially. But, well, being able to capture that, you know, that sound, and also have that happen in a way that we're not stretched thin is going to be a really nice change of pace, I'd say.
Yeah, I think I think not having to worry about some of that stuff will help with the authenticity aspect of the music. At least that's my hope. So.
Yeah, and I think it just takes a team to just kind of do everything. We all have our roles. We all like want the same kind of thing, as to make Pale Twin big and build that community and like get through this competitiveness. And it's hard enough to do it, like trying to do it by yourself, you know, but having a team allows you to like kind of live your life. So it's like not all consuming, because it can get easy to like get lost into everything. And so that's kind of like where That's Life Media, like the name came from, is to like be able to capture life, to be able to live life, being able to just take the pressure off life and enjoy the moments. So.
And I've done work with your business, and 5 stars. I mean, like because our friendship started as a business relationship. So like I had no reason to biasly lean towards, you know, because we met in college and then immediately started working on the side project music stuff. And at that point, you know, that was a big part of our whole, you know, knowing each other. And then as time went on, you know, we just it would have been impossible to predict, but like we got to work on so many different types of music and things, like just different projects overall, and you know, it was just a lot of fun. And I like watching you form That's Life has been awesome. And I would definitely say to like any Cincinnati local like musicians, you can find it online easily, and I would look it up because you know it'll help you out in a decent way for sure.
Yeah, you can go to that'slifemedia.com, or you can go to follow me on Instagram at that'slifemedia. I'm also on Facebook as well. But it's just been such an honor to see Luke be able to evolve through his music. I mean, he started off as a rapper, and then he his evolution and stuff kind of changed, and you know, a lot of stuff he kind of had to do on his own. And it's nice to see him have a team behind him and this new evolution in his style. It's just amazing.
That really means a lot to me. Thank you. I did think of something fun for this seems like a New Year thing, but I don't think I want to preface this. We cannot pick what it is here. I would like to, either get comments from the listeners and take those into consideration, and or take some more time ourselves to think about these. But I think it'd be fun to pass around some ideas for the album, title. And
Okay.
I had one to start the conversation. So, just with Pale Twin, and I'm not going to, you can go and find it yourself, but if you go to any of the pages, you'll find it in the description what our band is about. And, go listen to the first 5 songs and then these next 5 songs in the album. I think a good name could potentially be Anti-Self.
There's one that we talked about that I really like.
What is it? Say it, man.
Because I had a picture in my mind for the cover. It's We Suffer Together.
We Suffer Together. I still think Suffer Together would just take out the we.
I could compromise with you on that. I think I like that too.
Yeah.
But I like.
And
that
we're talking
one. I'm
about
very
for these
partial to
first
that.
10, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also quite partial to the name We Suffer Together for an album name, I'm going to be honest.
Because I think we could incorporate the Pale Twin aspect of it too. I don't want to give away the idea yet.
I'm just
I'll
going
talk
to
you
throw
about
out
it.
some other. So I said Anti-Self before. Another one I thought of, but it just feels a little cornier to me, was Shadow Self. I want to get some names on the table real quick, And Zoe, you don't have to, just if you think of any, because you've heard the tracks, you've heard some of the unreleased stuff. If any names like a good name, then let us then tell us what it is. You think you got one?
I think I got one. So I don't know if this fits. Maybe Shadow Self. I think that kind of sounds cool, but I definitely think people listening should definitely comment what they like, and if they hear anything they like. But I think that might be a good one. What do you think?
I like the name Shadow Self. For Pale Twin, because to me, going more astral with the name is not the way to go.
I agree.
It shouldn't be Chaotic Bliss or something like that, right? Even though I don't hate that name, but that's not what this album is. The name needs to be more personal, which is what made me think of Anti-Self, or you could put I could see Toxicity as a name, I'm just throwing things right off the top of my head, just things that are that part of yourself that you fight in the brain. And that's different for everybody.
I mean, I mostly defer to you for this stuff since you wrote the lyrics, but yeah, I mean, I could see that. I could also, just throwing out an idea, we could use a song title from one of the songs we have that we feel like really encompasses the 10 the best. I thought Dying Blue would actually be kind of a cool album cover or album title.
Compromise.
All right.
What I could see, I like that, but what if we gave it a little more liberty as as opposed to using it as both, we just used that concept to make the album name, and we did instead of Dying Blue, we did Dying Twin, or dead twin?
I I like where your head. I kind of like where your head's at. Dying. What was the first one?
Dying. It was fucking A. It was dying twin and then dead twin. Yeah.
No, I like it for the like. I know you well enough to know where your head's at with it.
Yeah.
So it's like a part of yourself. It's like becoming something new. Is kind of the quote unquote meaning behind that, right?
I mean, another name could be the Dead Blue.
I like that too. I like that a lot.
Yeah, the Dead Blue just as like an album name.
But the album doesn't feel blue to me.
No, but I like the aesthetic ring to that.
It does roll off the tongue well.
Better. Let me throw a couple more out real quick, okay?
Yep.
So,
What
how
about
much do we want it to relate to the name Pale Twin? Real quick. Like, do we want it to be related to that or Daisy? Sorry, got listeners, the dog.
She's trying to eat some Sour Patch Kids or something.
Nah, she's trying to eat some Alfredo.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
Yeah, that checks out more.
All right, so how much do we want like the album name to be related to the Pale Twin name, or is it relevant to it at all or not?
I don't think it needs to be directly related.
Okay.
I think like when you were writing these lyrics, like what was that the inspiration from? Like, was there like a certain theme you were kind of going for? Was there an emotion you were trying
100%. So like it was I've told you guys this. I'm into Taoism, stuff like that, which is like Taoism is where the yin and yang comes from. And like I had found it to be like oddly satisfying in a way, not just with like spirituality, but with like creativity and music. And like my thought of it was like on that dark side, it's like everybody has a pale twin. Every single person has a pale twin, but it's different for every person, right? For some people, it's a mental thing. For some people, it's a physical thing. For other people, it's a creative or emotional thing. Like, and I like the concept of people coming together and embracing that shadow self, which is why I do like the name Shadow Self. I think the first name that I said was Anti-Self. But Shadow Self might be better than Anti-Self, honestly. Like, so, but, like, when pretty much all the lyrics were based around that general concept, which was that, like, through what makes us broken, we are unified together. Like, and if you listen to all of the songs, you will find that consistently. I promise you.
Yeah, so I'm getting. That's why I remember we talked about that in the car, and then what you just said right there. I could see either one. I mean, Shadow Self or Suffer Together or We Suffer Together, but that I think both of those would fit the overall theme of the album.
Personally, I'm leaning towards We Suffer Together just because, at least to me, it feels like the latter half of some kind of quote or something. Like, it kind of gives a more, I guess, how do I put this?
It's like got
Poetic vibe.
It's
It
got
has a
gravitas to it or something. It's got some like weight or gravity.
Yeah, I was thinking it kind of gives a bit of a poetic kind of feel.
Yeah.
To the name of the album. So I could see that.
What if we combined them? Shadow Self, Suffer Together.
No,
No?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
What if we
'Cause
did Incan Mirror and
I get
Incan
Lol.
Vacant? Yeah.
like lol, AJ's a troll. Like we get that. But
So,
no, the point that I'm more trying to make is like I really partially like at least like three of like I partially like Shadow Self, I partially like Anti Self, I partially like We Suffer Together, but none of those to me feel like the name in my opinion. That like there has to be a middle ground, so we got to figure out what that is. And to me, maybe the meaning of We Suffer Together is better, but we have to figure out a way for that to roll off the tongue in the way that Shadow Self does. Because Pale Twin Shadow Self makes sense. Like when you think about it. Think about pulling it up if you never heard the band. Pale Twin, who is this? What's their first album? Shadow Self. Like, you know, Pale Twin, We Suffer Together, to me, sounds a little more like what Pale Twin would have been when we started the band. And I'm not going to get into the details of that, but I'm just going to say that that's... And I don't want to I don't want to fight about it. I'm just telling... honestly, it's not like... but that is my honest opinion. It's like, I don't... That sounds a little too try-hard to me.
Well, TBD. I think there's some good ideas out there. I'd have to think about it a little more myself, but some good solid ideas.
So, I don't think Luke likes Incan Mirror and Vacant.
No, I don't think he so either, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was a big
but
thumbs down.
I think there's some decent names that were thrown out there. I think the listeners should definitely give what they think. If they like, was it Incandescent Vacant?
Incan Mirror Vacant.
Or Shadow Self, or We Suffer Together. Like, definitely comment. Let us know what you think. And, you know, we'll see what the band decides.
Yeah, I second that. Please comment what you think, what you guys like, what sounds good, or throw out a suggestion.
Definitely, I think it's gonna be a kick-ass album regardless of the name.
I did too. I'm very excited about it. I think we got some really, really good songs, and I don't think I'm being overly cocky about it. So
I think to I guess kind of wrap up. What's 2026 gonna look like for Pale Twin?
yeah. So what's next for us in 2026? One of the main things is that we're obviously gonna release a series of singles that are coming out. Some of the best music we've written.
How many tracks in are we?
This Friday we'll be at 2, so we'll have 3 to go to release. And
But
then
that would put us at 7, not 2. I'm talking about total.
10. We're releasing.
We're releasing 10, but I was saying, like, what was that release putting us at? Is what I was curious about. But it's
7. Yes,
Yeah.
7 total. Yes. So we'll be at 7 total songs. We'll have 3 to go. It's just some of the best songs we've written so far. But yeah, got an album, and also we'll be releasing the full album, and we're gonna organize that in a way that that the songs flow the best too. So while all the songs will be released, you'll get the full package with that, which I'm excited about. I mean, I know people don't typically do this anymore. We live in a different time, but there's something about listening to an album from beginning to end. So, looking forward to that. We're also practicing, we're starting to really hit the ground running, practicing on getting the Pale Twin live show up and running.
We just got the bounce stems, which we are making adjustments to. So we got the first draft of the bounce stems, and then we're making adjustments. And so eventually we'll have the finals of the stems, which we'll start practicing to, and give us a couple reps of that, and we'll be ready to go for shows. And I've been looking forward to that since the day we started this thing.
So what's that? That where Vegeta and Goku go in Dragon Ball Z, where they go in that like realm where they train like crazy?
The time, shit. Hyperbolic time chamber. Yeah,
It was a hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? We're about to do that.
Hyperbolic twin.
That's right.
hyperbolic twin chamber. Yeah,
That's what Pale Twin is about to do for the live set. We're about to hit the ground hard for that with that, and I would say expect us out there. Expect us out in Cincinnati and in surrounding cities. Spring of 2026.
I would agree with that.
So there's that. We're always going to be releasing new content, new music videos. We actually have one in the works, so that'll be coming out fairly soon with the release of
Two.
Yeah.
We have two coming out in the
Yeah.
works, and they're both coming out pretty soon. I'm not going to give dates, but we have one coming out very, very soon, and we have another coming out like pretty shortly after that.
and they're both high. They're both going to be high quality
And very different videos.
and very different. And again, I think some of the best stuff we've done up to now. So there's that, and I would also say I don't think it's crazy to say that we're gonna be releasing past this album another series of singles or an EP. I think we talked about this last episode, but I would expect at least past the album 6 more songs this year. So if we're on your radar, just know that we are gonna keep coming out with music. There'll always be something new for you to listen from Pale Twin.
Sounds like 2026 is going to be a very engaging year for Pale Twin, right?
Big time. We're I think we're taking the next steps.
Yeah. It sounds like it. It's going to be a whole new level, and I think Pale Twin is very excited to share it with you guys. Their hard work. 2025 was just the building year, and now you'll get to see the fruits of their hard labor.
That's right, and we're looking forward to it. I mean, we're looking forward to having you guys along for the ride.
So I just want to give a couple shout-outs real quick. I want to give a shout-out to That's Life Media, Candy Coated. It's Candy Coated Media.
Yeah.
Want to give a shout-out to Blacklight Productions, Andrew Bowman. We've met so many great artists. Cincinnati has so many great musicians in the area. And anybody that listens to these podcasts or these songs that, feels like you can relate to this, or you're in the same, you're into the same type of music that we are, always feel free to reach out. We'd love to get you involved in a future project, or even just have you on to talk about your music in a podcast. So, besides any of the dates that are coming up, because I feel like we already hit that, do you guys have anything you want to touch before we wrap this up?
I don't. I hope everybody has a happy New Year out there.
Happy New Year's, everyone. I'm excited to be working with Pale Twin, and I can't wait to start engaging with y'all.
Happy New Year's!
Happy New Year.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you soon.